We're going to talk about linguistic tribalism. This is ethnic chauvinism that comes from these mainstream colonial Greenbergian so-called language families that are just working hypotheses in reality. We're talking about the major Hamiticist language families adjusted by Joseph Greenberg that are still in use today. This is Afro Asiatic, aka Hamito-Semitic, established by Friedrich Müller. Its local node Cushitic, established by Theodor Benfi. Niger-Congo, established by the Nazi Party member Karl Meinhof. Its local node Bantu, established by Wilhelm Bleek. Kwa, established by Gottlob Adolf Krauss. Khoisan, established by the zoologist Leonard Schultz. And Nilo Saharan, established by Heinrich Barth and the father of Hamiticist linguistics, Karl Lepsius. Nilo Saharan is perhaps the weakest of these hypotheses due to the fact that it is known as Greenberg's waste bucket in contemporary historical linguistic circles. These language families can absolutely not be used as a replacement to designate historical African populations. None of these language families have ever been completely established genetically using the historical comparative method. Greenberg himself admitted that these language families, formulated by his multilateral comparative method, also known as mass comparison, were never supposed to be taken as genetically related. His methodology was not supposed to be used as proof of genetic relationship between speakers of a so-called language family. When we consider the relationship of these language families of Greenberg and colonial ethnography, we can conclude that they were all formulated in an attempt to work backwards from a faulty conclusion. Stephen J. Peter revealed the flaws in the Greenbergian mass comparison methodology by showing the error in the glottochronological assumption that the rate of sound change in languages is constant. James Matisoff coined the term cubiculomania to describe Greenbergian language families like Afro Asiatic that lump languages together in pigeonholes for the sake of leaving nothing unclassified. According to Matisoff, this method cannot detect chance resemblances. Alan S.K. revealed that most of the Proto-Afro-Asiatic roots reconstructed by Earl and Stobova involve lookalikes, false cognates, onomatopoeic vocabulary, and unverifiable monoconsonantal theories. Their work is also filled with typographical errors, bibliographic typos, erroneous citations, missing diacritics, and improper word divisions. Robert Ratcliffe's review of the Afro-Asiatic reconstructions of Erit, Oral, and Stolbova revealed that 78% of their entries contain incompatible correspondence sets, while 19% contain invalid assumptions about root structure and 2.5% contain false assumptions about semantics. Less than 6% of the cognate sets proposed by Erit are proposed by Oral and Stolbova, while 2% of the cognates proposed by Oral and Stolbova are found by Erit. Both sources are full of spurious cognates. They ignore derivational and etymological history. They fail to reconstruct the intermediate nodes, use sources without chronological considerations, and defy the uniformitarian principle in lexicosemantic and morphological construction through the excessive usage of synonyms, homonyms, and the full consonant inventory as suffixes. This creates an empirical impossibility in the proportion of biradicals and triradicals in Proto-Afro-Asiatic. According to expert historical linguist Dr. Arlen Wilson Wright, it is impossible to establish a genetic unity between Semitic and ancient Egyptian using conventional historical linguistic methodology. Another expert in the field, Dr. G.W. Tsereteli, confirms that Afro-Asiatic represents an area of diffusion and is absolutely not a genetic grouping. Theophilo Benga's analysis of Afro-Asiatic shows that in the monoconsonantal, biconsonantal, radical reduplication, feminine plural, and masculine plural paradigms, the basic lexical items of the major language nodes don't match. This confirms again that the morphological and phonological similarities in Afro-Asiatic are the result of aerial contact over generations as opposed to a genetic relationship. Kenneth Olson, in the same vein, uses these parameters to expose the flaws in Niger-Congo. According to Olson, the comparative method has been neglected in Niger-Congo classification. To date, there has been no concerted effort to establish a proto-system for Niger-Congo as a whole, along with the sound laws which led to the modern languages in the family. Most modern historical linguists, in particular, and anthropologists in general, know that these Greenbergian language families will eventually be replaced. They absolutely cannot be used to classify historical African populations without reasonable doubt, and the caveat that they are purely working hypotheses and will likely never be confirmed due to the methodological barriers specified previously. Even with the most generous considerations, these language families in the Greenbergian universe can absolutely not be used to separate West Africans and East Africans due to the fact that so-called Niger-Congo and Nilo Saharan derive from Niger-Saharan speakers connected to the Iranian culture of North Africa. The ancient Egyptians and West Africans would both exist in the super-equatorial macro family from the terminal Pleistocene. This is also due to the fact that autosomal genetic studies have proven that West African populations defined as Niger-Congo, such as the Ekan, Ewe, and Mande, cluster with populations defined as Nilo Saharan and Afro Asiatic, such as the Shuluk, Dinka, and Oromo. Logically, all human languages are eventually related. This is what makes the endeavors of the African School of Historical Comparative Linguistics, sparked by Theophilo Benga and Sheikh Anta Diop, very promising. The construction of the Paleo-African language family, also termed Negro-Egyptian and Egypto-African, has more available evidence to support than any Greenbergian framework. In this manner, Metrem and Kimi is genetically related to the majority of the languages on the African continent, by the way of nominal classes and definitive articles, the formation of the plural, gender-based grammatical categories, grammatical formation of abstracts, the copular verb, personal pronouns, the grammatical employment of adjectives, epithet adjectives, predicate adjectives, adjectival nouns, flexional verb conjugation, idiomatic verbal particulates, negative morphemes, binding particles, the voice bilabial plosive correspondences, voice dental nasal consonant, voice nasal bilabial occlusive consonant, voice alveolar beaten consonant, voice clispirant alveolar consonant, the sibilant consonant, verbal nominal constituents, voice palatal occlusive consonant, and the voiceless dental occlusive consonant. These correspondences suggest that the Urhamat, or homeland of Paleo-African speakers, can be found in the Middle Nile. This fact corroborates with many of the genealogical terms that Africans have in their living languages, such as Ngalam and Zagara in Western and Central Africa, to Tajara in East Africa, all being descendants of the Wangara people and the Karas of the classical dynastic period of the Happy River Valley. We should completely reject the Greenbergian colonial linguistic classifications of Africa and move towards a scientific approach of classification rooted in historical comparative linguistics as specified previously. Historical linguistics plays a crucial role in combating tribalism by providing insights into the interconnectedness and shared origin and evolution of African languages. This knowledge promotes understanding, empathy, and appreciation for the linguistic diversity of the continent, challenging narrow-minded ethnocentric perspectives. This is a primary step in the journey towards total liberation for all African people.